Hi, Dyslexic Genius here. I'm back on the Edison Home museum quality work, and in the first video I talked about the water damage to the cabinet and the rust to the motor. Well, I de-rusted the motor, and then I had it re-blackened. And then when you re-blacken cast iron, sometimes it comes out black, sometimes it comes out in this nice copper color, comes out in blue and green. Cast iron will do what it does when you re-blacken it. And then what you see these bumps right in here in the casting, all the way through here. All this was rusted out. But you come to the other side, and we have a smoother casting finish here. A little bit of rusted was down in here, but you can see the smoother, like in here, much smoother casting. So those bumps all through here is what was left of the rust. I had it de-rusted, then I had my plater chemically acid treated, and then we blackened it. And the first thing he told me was, cast iron will do what cast iron does. And also, these spreader bars here, we have 3 of these, one here, and one in the back. This was all rusted out. I did the same thing here, but when I did the re-nickel work, I re-nickeled all this, and that stops all the rust down the way. The other video, we showed you how to blue the screws. We did all the screws on the motor here, polishing out the edges on the deburr or with sandpaper. My angel will focus in right here. This drive gear, my left hand this moves back and forth, and in the screw here. And this was rusted in place, and I had to press that out, and then we flextoned and I fitted it back together, but it's driving dead center on that gear. This gear here always drives on the center automatically. The motor did have one different weight on the governor, and we fixed that. Polished out all the end bearings.
Well, you replaced all the weights.
Yeah, I replaced all the weights on it and the springs. Polished out all the bearings, like the shafts here, the pinion that goes in here. We polished all that out. And then what I did for this was that, still leaking a little there, it will for a little bit. Instead of using sewing machine oil on this, I used STP. And it's just a little bit speed trick on homes, in essence. So what you do is you take your Starbucks stir stick and you cut it off to a spear point like that. And then you dip it in the STP, and then you just drop it in the hole and let it fill up and drain in all the way around. I also straightened out this shaft here. Now, the only thing that's been lubed is the pinions on the casting. I haven't oiled here with graphite grease or back here on graphite grease on these gears, because remember I've talked about brass gear on a steel gear. But when you do all this right, super cleaned out the gears. Oh, I always do it, but you want to have this all the gunk out of this gear, and the governor, you want all the junk out of this. You want it right down to the bare metal. So when you do everything properly, and you've really paid attention, polishing all the pinions out, you take this thing, and it's dead silent, and you don't hear the governor drive gear, this brass one, making a humming sound. And that's how you really make an Edison move. So you get this thing going, we can do it. The only thing you're hearing is a little bit slight noise out of that gear. The governor's running perfectly straight. And you give it that, and it just keeps moving and going and going and going. And that is how you rebuild one at museum quality. Everything's back to original. Originally, these spreader bars were cadmium plated. And if they get any water on them and sit for a while, they rust right out. I mean, this is normal on these. And that's my tip for the day.